Hey everybody, welcome back. If you are listening to that beautiful introduction music, that can only mean one thing.
It is time for another episode of the Mannschrecks, a commentary on Christian life and culture from a pastor's wife and her sidekick.
That's me.
I'm your best host, Sara Mannschrecks.
And I'm that other one, JJ Mannschreck. Oh boy, it is good to be back in these chairs doing our awesome, super awesome podcast. Got our drink, got our relaxing evening with all the boys
better chairs,
sleeping.
though.
We do. I mean, if we're gonna be hanging
This chair is
out.
broken.
No, I'm glad we're here and be able to do things. I did want to say, before we approach the news desk and get into the stories, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate our listeners. Like, we make jokes about how, like, nobody's listening, but there are, like, a couple of good followers, and people have been reaching out, sharing and interacting and engaging on the social media, and it's like, that means the world. I love our 3 listeners. And it's
always is fun to hear that people are listening, even if, it's just kind of mindless entertainment for half an hour.
And I do. I think, like, I guess I just was thinking about it and was like, I almost, like, I don't want to be super popular or whatever, like, I think if we got famous doing this, we'd have to almost stop, like, we love doing it. It's a labor of love for the two of us. We really have fun making these, and it really warms my heart when people reach out and they're like, we love the show and all that kind of stuff, but it's really not, we're very comfortable not being popular. I guess that's what I'm trying to express. It's like, if I make fun of, hey, not very many people listen, I don't want people to think like, oh, they don't care if we listen or not. I love it when you guys listen, and it's so awesome.
We do. We love you. And we love it when you tell us that you've been listening. So talk to us. We love you.
I had like 2 or 3 more people, and some of them are like old friends, and some of them are people I've met on social media or whatever. Some of them are total strangers, but they send us messages. We did the t-shirt thing last week. I actually had a buddy take a picture of his Christian shirt, and I was like, this is so fun.
That's
like
awesome.
That meant a lot, and I was like, this is really cool. And then I had somebody send in some lyrics for playlist puzzles and all that good stuff.
Oh, that'll be fun.
It's just a good, I'm enjoying interacting with everybody. So when we make jokes that say, hey, nobody listens to our goofy podcast, we're cool with that. Like, the 10 people who
100%.
follow us, we love you guys so much, and it's just gonna be us, and we're just gonna hang out. Don't tell anyone about the podcast. We'll just keep it small, and we'll just keep doing our thing.
There's no fear there.
All right, so you ready to approach the news desk?
I am, yes. I'm very interested to hear what you have to share with us today.
All right, you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, so first I gotta back up a little bit. I'm gonna give you the premise, and I'm gonna see if you remember the film that was inspired by it.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's see. So there is a search for the wreckage of the Santo Cristo de Burgos. It's a Spanish galleon that disappeared in the Pacific Ocean in 1693. Historians say it may have sunk off the coast of what is now Oregon, where items believed to have been on the vessel have been washing ashore for centuries. And that true story of this Spanish galleon, this treasure galleon that sunk, is the focal point, or inspired a cult classic film from the 80s.
The Goonies?
Oh my gosh, you got it! I can't believe you got it. That's amazing. I almost forgot that was even in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a minute since I've seen that movie.
The 17th century Spanish galleon inspired Steven Spielberg's 1985 film, The Goonies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which featured a fictional pirate and his treasure-laden vessel.
Wow.
Well,
that's cool.
done. So the story is, off the Oregon coast, this came from last week, Oregon coast timbers may be from the shipwreck that inspired the Goonies.
Really?
So there are some pieces of the wood that have washed up on the coast, and they're like, hey, this is from that boat, the one that Steven Spielberg had heard about, and then he used it to make the Goonies.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's not the book in the movie is not the real one.
Right.
But it inspired by.
Oh, that's cool.
So Scott Williams, president of the Maritime Archaeological Society, said, no booby traps, just the timbers. He and his team retrieved the timbers in mid-June in an archaeological expedition that wouldn't have been out of place in an Indiana Jones, which is another Spielberg creation. The caves are incredibly hard to get to, he said. They're located on a beach that is only accessible at high tide, and it's a tough hike to get to it over landslides and boulder fields.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't this just sound like
it sounds intense.
You know?
Fun.
This is this is good fodder for a movie. This discovery continues to fuel the search for the wreckage of the Santo Cristo de Burgos, that galleon. The idea of the missing ship turns up in The Goonies, a cult classic starring Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, which I did not remember that he was in that, and Corey Feldman as a group of ragtag kids searching for treasure after discovering a long-lost map.
Yeah. Boy, yeah. Now we need to go watch The Goonies.
Yeah, right? It makes me want to. According to a spokesburger...
Spokesburger.
I cannot talk tonight.
Maybe you just really want burgers.
I do. Yeah. According to a spokesperson at Spielberg's company, Amblin Productions, the movie mogul used the story of the San Cristo de Burgos as inspiration for the film, which is set in Oregon, near where the timbers and other artifacts have been discovered.
That's cool.
Now, in The Goonies, the pirate ship, the Inferno, breaks free from its hideaway and sails off with no crew to parts unknowns. In reality, the movie prop was destroyed after the filming was completed. Sad. What exactly happened to San Cristos de Burgos in 1693 is a mystery. The ship simply disappeared during a crossing from Manila to Acapulco, Mexico, a common trade route for Spanish merchants at the time. The vessel was known to be carrying cargo of beeswax to make candles, which was rare silks and Chinese porcelain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so for 200 years, people have been finding evidence of the shipwreck along the Oregon coast. Like, stuff keeps washing up on the beach, and so that's like fueling the search. And so people are all excited again because some timbers showed up on
That's so interesting.
I was like, oh, look at the Goonies. Guess the name of it based on the cargo. Guess the name of this actual shipwreck.
I have no idea.
They're calling it the Beeswax Wreck.
Oh, that's far less exciting. The beeswax.
That's how
wreck.
Archaeologists refer to it. It's the Beeswax Wreck.
I like Washington Shore.
There's nothing definitive. They're 90% sure that's where it comes from. It is some kind of ship that was built in Asia or possibly South America that would have been the case for Santo Cristo de Burgos. So it's just this fascinating story.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though.
I thought it was kind of fun. If they do find the wreck, maybe it will provide Spielberg with the inspiration to make a sequel to the 1985 film.
Wow. That would be groundbreaking.
I thought they made a sequel, where Sean Astin helps that other fellow deliver the ring back to Mordor.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that.
It is the film producer and director who declined an interview request. I love that they even asked.
I know. They were like, well, it would be silly for us
We
not to
found
ask.
some wood on the beach.
Gotta ask.
Spielberg, will you give us an interview? What?
Declined to comment.
He has said for years that he did want to make The Goonies too, but the timing was never right.
Well, the time is now.
All right, but I do love the end of this article. It says, to quote a classic line from the movie, Goonies never say die. Apparently, neither does the legend of Santo Cristos de Burgos.
That's fun.
The Goonies. Maybe I just am nostalgic for that movie. I haven't watched it in a long time.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
For sure. All right, did you have a news story?
It's not very exciting, but we can go with
Always
it.
down and on the stories.
I know. Okay. You probably have heard this story because
Trolled the
it's
internet.
a couple weeks old. But you spend a lot of time on the internet. I sound like an old fogey. Goats released in New York City park to eat invasive weeds.
No, I haven't heard this at all.
So in a park in New York City, goats. This is an article from the end of June 29. Goats were released to more than a dozen goats, not ghosts. Although I would love to see
the story
ghosts
just
eat
got
weeds.
really exciting.
I know.
There's your Goonies too.
That's a scary story. Goats were released to feast on weeds as a chemical-free
Stay puft
way to
marshmallow,
remove invasive species while adding to the joys of nature. The furry visitors arrived in Manhattan from Rhinebeck, New York, to gobble up overgrown brush, even species dangerous to humans like poison ivy. No joke. These goats were just let out to eat the invasive weeds.
How many goats were there?
Over 20. 20 goats.
So they just took a bunch of goats and they said, here you go, you live here now.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
That's the end of the article. I mean, it's literally like 4 paragraphs.
I like it,
And
though.
the goats were released to eat up all the invasive, chemical-free way. It's like, hey, let's let our goats just,
I get you. I mean, it is a chemical-free way, That's gorgeous, right?
Downside is you get to step in some goat poop. So
Yep. Oh, now that's chemical. Wow. And okay. Yeah.
I like that, adding to the joy of nature.
I would get really excited if I saw goats hanging out in a park.
I would too.
Really? Look at goat. I do feel like a little bit like I'm glad that they're trying to find chemical-free solutions to get rid of these invasive species, but on the one hand, yay, good for them for coming up with this brainstorm. But on the other hand, like pretty much every time humans try to do something good, it doesn't work. Like, that old story. What's that song about the old lady who like swallowed a fly and then she I don't know why she swallowed a fly, so then she swallows like a spider and then a bird and then I can't remember all the animals, but she ends up swallowing a horse, right? And it's just she dies, right? And so it's that children's story illustrates the fact that it's like every time we try to mess with nature, we almost universally make it worse.
Yep,
like
worse than before.
Well, I introduced this animal and that didn't go well, so now I've introduced this animal and this animal, and like Yellowstone National Park, there's tons of stories about how it was like, well, the elk population was too much, so we introduced wolves. The wolves ate all the elk, and now we have too many wolves, and so then we introduced this, and it's like every time we mess with nature, we ruin it. It's like
I am curious because this is like in New York. It says it's in
New York.
It's in
Upstate
Manhattan.
Or in Manhattan, really?
The furry visitors arrived in Manhattan from Green Goats Farm in Rhinebeck, New York.
I mean, it does seem to me fairly painless, but that's the thing. Like, they always seem painless when you do this, like, introducing of new species. I don't know. I think it's a bad idea. I love it. I wish Flushing would put in some goats into our parks,
Yeah, it's
don't
crazy.
have to mow the
They're
lawn.
like legit. Like there's pictures. There's like people cheering and welcoming them.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
This is a Reuters article, so they are apparently very.
They're such a reputable news source. It's amazing how much they cover. The breadth of their coverage is into weird stuff too. I love it.
So anyway, I just found that to be a very interesting and / endearing article. Maybe I just really want goats, but
that's fabulous. I love it so.
I was shocked to find that New York City is using them as an alternative to.
Oh man!
Why buy Roundup when you can just get a goat and let it go eat some plants over there?
Yeah, man. Now I wonder, do you think the goats will eat only the invasive? Like, how do they get? Is it just going to eat everything?
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah. I mean, they don't have to pay for lawn care then.
It's true. Just buy some.
Save
goats,
some money. It's a very interesting thing, but I found it to be
that's fascinating story.
Very curious. So.
The Goats of New York.
The Goats of New York.
Maybe they'll change like one of their sport teams' names to the Goats.
The Goats.
The Goats.
It's not quite as intimidating.
Well, and Tom Brady doesn't live in New York, so.
Yeah. Missed opportunity.
I think that it's time for sponsors. Are you ready for the sponsor of your life?
Yeah.
Me neither. For those who don't know, our little podcast does not receive any kind of sponsorship from anyone. However, we love to talk about things, products, and things that are in our life that we would advertise if they would pay us. They won't pay us, but we will just pump them up anyways for free. And so we're entering into our free advertisement area. What is sponsoring your life today?
Well, to be totally cheap and not that original, we went to Five Below the other day.
I love it. Five Below is a what?
A dollar store, essentially.
There you go.
Where everything's $5 or less. Except $5.55 is still more than $5, but whatever. But I got a couple pairs of sunglasses, which I was really excited about because who has money to spend on sunglasses? Surely not I.
I don't treat my sunglasses nice enough to spend real money on them.
I have children who lose my sunglasses, so I don't have,
you have children
the money.
Too?
I know, it's crazy. They just won't leave me alone. But I needed sunglasses, and I'll be darned if they didn't lose all my sunglasses last year, or I did, and I had no sunglasses. And then I went to the park and broke my one pair of existing sunglasses, so... all that's left.
You sent me the picture of the broken sunglasses. You had one on. You look like
a pirate.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to Five Below and found some sunglasses and just really came, in handy this week. So
I love Five Below, and we have loved Five Below like our entire marriage. Like when we first got married, living in Chicago, that was when we discovered Five Below. And
that's because that's all we could afford.
Yeah.
Actually, that's still all we can afford. Not much has changed, really.
I'm very comfortable with the fact that we have been happy and poor for our entire marriage.
Hey.
But no, yeah, Five Below, especially
So we have
the
a
sunglasses.
Patreon account. I'm just kidding. But honestly, it's a handy thing,
Yeah, Five Below is great. Let's see. For me, it's gotta be. So I've been reading a lot of books. I'm still personally reading my way through the Wheel of Time books. They're so long. I'm not gonna recommend those books again. But the for reading with the boys, Liam has been really getting into the Ramona Quimby book series, and they're really cute books. And I honestly, I don't remember them very well. Like maybe I read one or two of them as a kid, but Liam is like. Voracious.
Liam eats books.
He just reads like he loves it so much, and so we've been just plowing through these books, and so we read so many of them, and it's such a great series. And while I'm at it, I also want to pump up the Magic Treehouse books. Like those are just the best little series. It's very
snippets
cute.
of valuable historical information.
Yeah,
presented.
framed in a kind of a magic fun way. Oh, we traveled in a magic treehouse. So anyways, the Magic Treehouse books are fantastic. The Ramona Quimby books. And the one we're reading right now, we're up to like the 4th book or whatever. And it's about the dad, and he like loses his job. And I was like, it's very cute. It's told from the perspective and the mental understanding of like the 6-year-old girl who doesn't understand the big problems. But they're dealing with real stuff. Dad lost his job. Money is tight. Mom starts working. I mean, it's a whole thing.
They're set in the 60s?
They're older books. So I'm not really sure.
I believe it's the 60s.
It's a long time ago.
Maybe it's the 50s. But yeah, I remember. I read those books as a kid. I remember reading them as a kid because my mom recommended them, probably because they were from her childhood.
For sure. And and I guess at that age, like for 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, a lot of the stuff is still very similar, even in the modern age. Like a lot of 5 and 6-year-olds, kindergarten is still kindergarten, right? I know they might use like tablets and stuff now, but they're still like coloring or, crafting or whatever the thing is. And that's very similar to like what Liam and our children like doing.
Yep.
So it's very like real world and relatable for them, and I'm enjoying the books. It's reading them as an adult, going back and reading kids' books.
When you go back and read. I know. A couple weeks ago, I sat down and I was going to read a chapter of Sarah Plain and Tall to Liam, and we read the whole book. It took us an hour to read the whole book, but we read the whole book, and
just good stuff.
Yeah, it is good. I appreciate. I love reading. And I would love to instill a love for reading in my child. So.
And I think that we have done that. And just all we do, there's nothing fancy. I just read to him all the time. Like if I got a day off or I got an evening when I'm home from work and it's like it's not dinner time yet or it's not bedtime yet, that's what we're doing. And honestly, I use it as like a keep them off of screens tactic. Like, I want to watch something. Well, how about Daddy reads to you?
Hands down, our kids would rather read than watch TV, and I will say I appreciate that. The downside is that my child successfully used the word stern the other day, and I was terrified. So
yeah, his vocabulary is intimidating. I'll say that.
It's terrifying.
I feel like I'm getting into braggy territory. I'm not trying to be
No,
braggy.
not bragging at all, honestly. I'm not bragging, because for balance, he also had a meltdown after eating 3 pieces of cake today. So, I'm parenting real well in the whole...
We need to humble ourselves and tell you the whole truth about our children.
Gotta give you the full pendulum here. He admittedly snuck a 3rd piece of cake, and I didn't know it, but also we were at church, and...
Darn coffee hour.
Yeah. Oh, you're so cute. Have another piece. Thanks. It's my first one. It's not.
It's not. All right, so yes, the Ramona Quimby books, but also the Magic Treehouse series coming in clutch. Just awesome and very much sponsoring my life and my parenting. So yes, childhood books. Yeah, they're just great. There's so many. I'm rediscovering all my favorite childhood books, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. All right, are you ready for our game?
I certainly am.
To close us out, we are going to go back to another episode of Playlist Puzzles. This has become one of our favorite activities, and I'm very excited.
Would you like to go first then, since you have some
Sure,
great
I'm
ones?
so eager.
I know, you're very excited about this.
Fun thing about playlist puzzles, the way it works is we will read lyrics to each other, and they are either 80s love ballads or 90s contemporary Christian music, because some Christian music is really just a love song to a girl or a boy, and then they like throw in God instead of he or she or whatever. So, and I think one of the trickiest things is that when you read it in monotone, you don't sing the lyrics, but you just read it. It can be hard to catch what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
it is. It is.
All right, so I'll get us started with we've got something to believe in, even if we don't know where we stand. Only God would know the reasons, but I bet he must have had a plan.
It's an 80s love ballad.
Extra bonus points if you can figure out who it is. If I finish the line, I bet you get it, though.
Okay, finish the line.
We got something to believe in, even if we don't know where we stand. Only God would know the reasons, but I bet he must have had a plan, 'cause you were born to be my baby, and baby, I was made to be your man.
Oh, I can...
Oh, it's tugging, right? It's tugging on your memory.
I know it. I know this song, but it's not coming to my brain right now. So
Bon Jovi, Born to Be My Baby.
Of course. Oh my gosh.
That's a good one.
That's good. Do you want to go again? Or?
No, you go right ahead.
All right. So, is this love that I'm feeling? Is this the love that I've been searching for? Is this love, or am I dreaming? This must be love. Your choice.
It was so generic.
I know.
You know, like I'm all right. So it was. I'm so sorry. Can you read it to me again?
Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this the love that I've been searching for? Is this love, or am I dreaming? This must be love.
It's got it. I hope it's an 80s love ballad. Because it's just so weird if it's not.
Yes. Yeah.
It is?
It is. It's an 80s love ballad. Yeah. It's kind of weird. I mean, most of those songs, yeah.
Is this love that I'm feeling? or indigestion?
Is this love?
Oh man. So who is that? I don't know.
It's Whitesnake.
Whitesnake. I don't think I could have told you that was a group. I thought that was a type of like leather pants. Is it not? I don't understand.
If you find those, please wear them.
I'm gonna look it up. I bet Whitesnake leather pants is a real thing.
What? Then it would be snakeskin pants.
Yeah.
Leather pants.
Yes, good point. You're right.
Can't do anything.
You can't do anything.
Oh my gosh. Okay, next one.
Okay, this one is one of those where I can I can read you this whole thing because it all works. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees, I want to take you there. In the midnight hour, I can feel your power, just like a prayer.
Just like a prayer, Madonna, sing it, girl.
Oh, you know it!
Get it. You get it.
I hear your voice, it's like an angel sighing.
Fun.
I have no choice, I hear your voice. Feels like flying, I close my eyes.
Man.
I think I'm falling. Like, that all could fit into a worship song, you know?
Yes, it's very true.
I was feeling it.
You should really sing that song next Sunday.
I don't actually. I've never heard of it.
What?
I don't know the song.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know
gosh.
80s songs. Like,
I think I sang that song like in the car one time in high school, and my mom looked at me like, "What the heck are you singing? Like, why do you know this song?"
Okay, I have one more that goes with it.
Okay.
So yeah, and I want this one's similar, and I'm just So it's been so long since you felt like you were loved. So what went wrong? But do you know there's a place where you belong here in my arms?
See, I would say it's an 80s love ballad, but you've given me two 80s love
It's
ballads
true.
so far.
Ooh,
and no
gotta play the odds
maybe
on that.
Christian song?
Feeling it's a Christian song?
Maybe.
Yep. Maybe.
Final answer.
I gave it to you. I handed it to you.
Final answer.
Yeah, what's really shocking to me is that I know this song, and it's really good. It's a contemporary Christian love...
Contemporary Christian love song. The lines are a little blurry. The history's messy.
This is the problem. The timeline's messy. Office reference. Ding.
There's too many Office references.
Okay. So yeah, let me just read you these lyrics, and I'm just shocked
really?
that this is a Christian song by
This is a song we know?
reputable. Yeah,
Okay,
this is a
go
song
ahead.
you know,
Oh, boy.
and this is a great band. I really love and respect this band. I'm shocked that the lyrics are so like generic, you know? It's been so long since you felt like you were loved, so what went wrong? But do you know there's a place where you belong here in my arms? When you feel like you're alone in your sadness, and it seems like no one in this whole world cares, you want to get away from the madness, you just call my name and I'll be there. You just call my name and I'll be there.
Is that Stephen Chris Chapman?
No, it's Third Day. Call my name.
Yes, I actually know that song.
This sounds like a love ballad, though, doesn't
like a love
it?
ballad.
I was a little disappointed in Third Day when I read the lyrics. I was like, this can't be that. And then I played the song and I was like, oh, I totally know this song.
Jeez, that's so weird. I don't know that I've ever paid attention. Wow,
I was so floored.
How many times do you sing along to songs you never actually think
You
about
just
the
call
lyrics?
my name and I'll be there. Doesn't that sound like
Wow.
call my name? And I could just see somebody with really big hair, you know, in white snakeskin leather pants.
When you call my name, it's like a little... Sorry. Okay.
Yep, right there.
Anyways, so I'm going to read you some more lyrics, and
There we go.
I want you to give it your best guess. So, I could stare into your eyes for a lifetime. Yep, the way that you're looking at me, 'cause you stood beside me, even when the storm was terrifying. Yep, you showed me what love really means.
I cannot be a worship song because staring into eyes is so weird for a worship song. I'm going to go with...
Logic would show otherwise.
I'm hoping from the bottom of my heart that this is some 80s song that I've never heard of.
How deep is your heart? Because this is absolutely a Christian song, apparently.
You guys, you can't stare into
know.
God's eyes. He's not
Full
the
disclosure.
cute, steamy boy from the other side of the room.
My source is almost worse because do you want to know how I found
I do. I want
these
to know.
lyrics?
How did you find these lyrics?
I Googled, and the hit that came up was 10 Christian songs for lovemaking.
No! There is an
horrifying.
article out there
Yes.
that is 10 Christian songs for listening to while you're...
Yes, absolutely. Someone felt it was so essential to compile this list for people who are struggling to find good, wholesome Christian content to listen to.
To listen to while they're...
Wow.
Wow.
So,
And I'm so glad we're cutting it off like a PG movie.
I know.
We're not saying what we're saying.
So that exists in the universe, and I know that you.
I
are,
have to find that article and read it now.
Well, yeah.
I need it.
I was. It was some good fodder, but I couldn't stop reading. The best was the little anecdotes they were giving for each
Does that not
song.
like illustrate the problem here, though?
There's a big problem
if you
there.
are able to take a worship song and turn it into, well, this is a love song aimed at a human being, like clearly that's a problem.
Yeah, that's not worship music. Like, just don't even.
I can't. Well,
veil
see,
it.
but now I'm afraid of that article because if I go read it,
Don't read
I
it.
can never
Don't read
listen
it.
to any of those songs ever
Oh,
again.
I would have never listened to that song anyway. There's no way I was gonna.
But you can't stare into God's eyes. That's...
Yeah, I'm very curious whose point of view this song is supposed to be from because it was troubling.
That is troubling. All right, I got one more pair. Like I have two songs for you. Or how about this? I'll read you two lyrics and you have to tell me which one's which.
Oh dear. Okay.
Okay. All right. So this one, I'm gonna do two parts.
Okay.
My heart is filled with so much love. And then the chorus is, shower me with your love, shower me with the love that I long for, shower me with your love.
Okay.
Okay, so that's song one.
Okay.
That's song one.
Okay.
Song two is, we're worlds apart, the distance between us is too great. Draw me close, let me know you're near. And the chorus is, pour your love down and cover me. Pour your love down and cover me. You see how crazy similar those are?
Oh my gosh.
I
hope they're both Christian songs, but I know that they're not.
So you think they're both Christian?
Oh gosh. No. The second song has got to be a Christian love song. The
Okay.
first one has to be an 80s love ballad.
Oh, wow. Okay, do you have a rationale on that?
No.
No.
Christians love the imagery of pouring because God's love was poured out for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins.
Shower does feel less worship. Yes, you are right. You are right. Shower Me With Your Love is actually the name of the song by a group called Surface.
Oh, okay.
Who I've never heard of.
Okay.
And then Pour Your Love Down is Audio Adrenaline. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the line I skipped was, we're worlds apart, the distance between us is too great. Draw me close, let me know you're near. The reason we sing is to bring down your glory. Show us your face. Pour your love down, pour and cover.
Boy, but those are so similar.
So similar,
so
right?
Similar.
Shower me. So it says, my heart is filled with so much love, and I need someone to call my own, to fall in love. That's what everyone's dreaming of. And then the chorus, shower me with your love. Shower me with the love that I long for.
Boy, because shower me with your love
and
really
pour
sounds like
down,
a Christian, like, I'm pretty sure I've heard a Christian song that uses those lyrics. Somewhere.
Absolutely. Like, I was just, that was kind of fun for me to, like, pair, you know, like an 80s song and a CCM song and put them next to each other and just show how much.
Strikingly similar, yeah.
Very, very.
Wow.
Do you have any more?
I had one more.
Yeah. All right, let's hear it.
All right, that's my last one. So the lyrics are, for I will choose to love, I will choose to love, though my heart's afraid to show it. I'm determined to bestow it, so I will choose to love.
Bestow feels like an old word, so that makes me think it's like religious.
Technically, this is an 80s song.
Is it a 80s CCM, like contemporary Christian song? Because that's my guess.
I mean, I don't know. Are you telling me or asking me?
Well, you're poker face. You're not giving me anything. I'm gonna say it's an 80s Christian song.
It is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Really? What was it?
I will choose to love. I will choose to love. Though my heart's afraid to show it, I'm determined to bestow it. So I will choose to love.
So not a
Most of the
Calvinist.
lyrics had very.
That's an Arminian right there. Someone who believes in free will.
Throw tulips at you. But honestly, most of the lyrics of that song, like I just chose the chorus, that was the chorus.
For
but
sure.
most of the lyrics, like there was very little that would show it was in any way
Nothing
a Christian
about
song.
God.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh man.
Maybe there was something about glory or something,
Sure.
but that's it. Like nothing that was like, oh, this is overtly a Christian song. It was like, what is this song?
I have so there's a couple of accounts I follow on Twitter who like they talk about like there's nothing wrong with modern music, right? Upbeat styles and you know you bring in the guitar and all that stuff. But what they comment on is the lack of any kind of theology and depth.
Oh,
Like,
it's horrible.
yeah, music back in the day was a method of teaching people like about God, rather than just like
As
it's
was
got a
most
nice
literature
beat.
in the
Yeah,
past.
truly, like it was like back in the day, those songs were designed to teach you stuff, and so there's so much richness to it. And the modern stuff, you're not there's no teaching. There's just
It's oversaturation.
truly
Our market
very-
is oversaturated. In the past, we had very few books, very few people could read,
True
so
story,
it
true
had
story.
to be absolutely authentic and able to teach because you had limited access.
And
Same
now
thing goes
it's-
for music, and now
It's just whoever can come up with a clever metaphor we haven't heard before.
there's no originality or content. It's just all.
I'm with you. I had a lot of fun, and I'll tell listeners this because I think it is a fun way to do it. What I did was I found either a Christian song or an 80s song,
I like that.
and then I Googled those lyrics. Like I grabbed a piece of it, and then I Googled songs with "Shower Me with Your Love," and then
I
an
wouldn't have
almost
thought of that.
identical song came up.
It's painful.
That was a fun way to do it for me on my end. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
look at all these songs that are all lined up. Like there was a ton of them. And so, yeah, if you guys ever want to see, and if you're looking for depth, and like we're poking fun at the contemporary stuff, but there is good stuff out there. There's fantastic contemporary music. I don't want to make it sound like we are against all contemporary music. Like there's such good stuff out there and there's such depth, but you don't have to substitute these pseudo fakey love songs. You know, like
Please don't.
it's valid to criticize those because honestly, there's such good stuff out there, you know? We were just thinking Joyful, joyful, we adore me, like in church
adore
this
me?
past time.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't
We
adore
adore you, not
Joyful, joyful, we adore thee.
we-
I was singing the right lyrics. Maybe you weren't.
I think it was the. I think that's the
Yeah,
word
that
I was
is
going
the-
for in my brain, and my brain substituted me because the.
because you were up front and you thought everyone was staring at you. And joyful, joyful.
It's
we
me,
adore
isn't it? Oh no.
Let's talk about that complex.
Well,
no, I'm
but
kidding.
joy-
But Yeah, I was singing it too, actually, and I was thinking about how nice the lyrics were.
Oh man, some powerful stuff there, and I was just all about that glory of God, and I really was into that song during worship, and it was great.
It's a good one. There's a classic hymn,
All right, that was fun. Another great episode of Playlist Puzzles.
That was good.
All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. If you appreciate this goofy little podcast, go ahead, hit like, subscribe, leave us a review. Apparently that affects the algorithm or whatever.
And thanks to Music Town for the use of our theme song. Don't forget to check us out on social media. There's a Facebook page, Instagram, and a Twitter account.
Ready to send us out with the mom joke?
Okay, yes. So why can't a nose be 12 inches long?
Something about Pinocchio. I don't know.
Because then it would be a foot.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye everyone.